From the beauty of the Low Country to the foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains, one of South Carolina's best-kept secrets, BrookGreen Gardens, is opening its doors to the upstate. Founded in 1931 by Anna Hyatt, a prolific sculptor, and her husband Archer Huntington, a patron of the arts, BrookGreen is a world-class showcase of art and nature.
Well, the legacy of the Huntingtons, of course, is BrookGreen Gardens, which is the first public sculpture garden in America. It is also the model for any sculpture garden that you might visit today in this country. This is the grandmother here in South Carolina. And our collection is considered the finest of its type in the world.
The collection is about 1,200 pieces. We have about 550 pieces in the garden itself, so they're integrated with all the horticultural aspects of BrookGreen Gardens. The acreage, overall BrookGreen is about 9,000 acres. The garden itself, the formal part, is about 30 acres. We continue to expand the parameters where our visitors can go, because we feel with the increasing level of attendance, we owe it to our visitors to be able to see more and more BrookGreen Gardens.
I think what makes BrookGreen Gardens such a unique place is the fact that it is one of the two institutions in the whole country that is a National Historic Landmark. It's accredited by the American Association of Museums as well as the Association of Zoos and Aquariums. So you have a combination of a beautiful outdoor museum and a zoo so that people can come and look at the animals. And we also have a wonderful history interpretive center that goes throughout the whole 9,000 acres that BrookGreen encompasses.
BrookGreen carefully selected 20 works, all shapes and sizes, representing a broad range of world-renowned sculptors for an upstate debut at Converse, Wofford, and the Chapman Cultural Center. From the delicate scale of Wombly to the almost life-size Made for Each Other.
One of the pieces in particular is entitled Wombly, and it's a bust of an Indian child done around 1902 by Adolph Alexander Weinman. This is one of the more important pieces in the collection. Even though it's quite small, it's a piece that had been on view in the Offner Center. And it depicts a child that was actually in one of the Wild West shows in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. In selecting the works that are going to Spartanburg, we had to choose carefully, and we also wanted to make sure that it was included work that was very significant, and if we could, that would have some type of connection with Spartanburg. For that reason, we included a piece by Richard McDermott Miller. There is a very nice large sculpture by Miller in a park in Spartanburg.
Miller's exuberance dominates Spartanburg's Barnett Park, and his powerful sculpture of artist Mary Cassette outside the Art Museum at Converse College document his close relationship with BrookGreen and the upstate. The internationally known sculptor, represented in distinguished museums throughout the country, left BrookGreen a vast collection of more than 400 works. Works now on display in the Offner Center, a unique visible storage facility made possible by upstate patrons Sue and George Johnson.
Somebody mentioned having a permanent repository where actually guests could come in and look at the things that weren't on a display but were in storage. It was something that George and I got very excited about. And because we had the opportunity to name it, it gave us great pleasure to name it after Elliot and Rosemary Offner, because they are a special couple and have been special to South Carolina and the upstate as well as to BrookGreen. We've got all these things in storage. What if some of these pieces could be brought to the upstate and spread out so that people could actually see some of the work that's in BrookGreen, even though they may never go to the coast, they may stay in the upstate all their lives, there would still be pieces from BrookGreen that were portable that could come and join us.
We wondered whether it wasn't a good idea to create, in effect, a BrookGreen North, create a place where some of those treasures might be lent, and thereby allowing people in our community to have a better perspective of the value of these pieces of property, but also to allow BrookGreen to have more publicity up in this part of the state. Maybe that will create a win-win situation for both us, because it advances our love for the arts, and for them because it gives more publicity to exactly what a terrific place it is.
Pedestals constructed.
Required us to make the boxes so that you can mount the sculpture right on the top and then anchor it so it wouldn't move or get bumped by anybody for a display.
Sculpture packed, packaged, and carefully positioned.
In moving the sculpture, of course, we have to pack it very carefully. And with the small pieces, that involves wrapping in fabric first and then bubble wrap, and then placing them in boxes. The larger works are being crated, and we had to contract with a local shipper, Coastal Transfer, in order to use their truck to transport everything up there.
I realized what it required to pack, insure, and ship, and unload, and set up this sculpture, I don't know that I would have been so anxious to initiate the project, but now that it's finally coming to fruition, it's very exciting.
In the Chapman Center, we wanted to place works outdoors as well as inside in the lobby. We do have one piece inside by Richard McDermott Miller. It is exactly what it sounds like. It's a person sleeping covered up in a bed. And if one does read the label, then the message becomes very clear that what he was trying to do was to create a sculpture that would be sexy and sensual without revealing anything, and he really succeeded in that sculpture.
We all understand what the arts mean to the quality of life of a community, and we certainly have made that commitment here with the Cultural Center, the Chapman Cultural Center, which is an enormous commitment of public and private dollars to give the next generation a great place to enjoy the arts and culture and history and so forth. Sculpture has always been an important part of what we do.
Spartanburg is really growing as an arts community, and Converse is very much at the center of that. We have very strong art and design programs. We have a great professor of sculpture. So this, in many ways, is a way of broadening our reach as an arts community and sharing resources from another part of South Carolina with the upstate region.
We had already initiated the program of women sculptors as representative of women's achievements at Converse. We were very excited that Robin picked female sculptors from BrookGreen's collection to exhibit at Converse. They're showed in the Pfeiffer Science Hall, and in that building is an art collection that are totally works by women. And women from every southern state, women artists from every southern state are represented on the walls of that building.
A favorite of mine is Finke's Sorrow, and that's a wonderful piece because it is so expressive about the emotions that any human feels, but really a wonderful expression of sadness and nostalgia, a sense of missing that is very well captured in her work.
The remarkable thing about BrookGreen is, of course, that it's a legacy for all of the people of South Carolina. And of course, that legacy consists of landscaping, which is itself a very great art, both at BrookGreen and here at Wofford. This campus is the National Arboretum. And the connection of human beings to the natural world is a crucial theme of the collection that we're showing from BrookGreen, but of BrookGreen itself, and indeed at Walford, where we've just established a new environmental study center.
We have, going to Walford, the dromedary, the walking giraffe, and then an elephant named Modoc, all by Madeline Park. She often sculpted at circuses, and these individuals were all part of the Ringling Brothers circus in the early 30s and through the 1950s.
The arts have a long and a storied history here at Walford, and we're delighted that we are now collaborating with BrookGreen Gardens to add still further to the student experience of the fine arts.
What we really want are the people of this community to love art, to appreciate art, to understand its value to their quality of lives. And we're very excited that BrookGreen shares that vision, and we hope that in the years to come that we expand that vision and perhaps allow more art to be seen throughout this community, and that many people from around the entire region will come and visit Spartanburg and see it as a great place to live, a great place to visit, a place that really values its citizens, and a place that really values the arts.